Sell me what it should be done. And as a producer, I'll say that I'll give you only a bit of it. I'm not going to give you a huge team. I'm going to give you a small team proof. So, what to prove? That's the bigger question. What I'll make them prove is, what is your core mechanics? Apart from CMU students who have been in my session, because I think you know what that means, because you know what I said earlier. Can anyone else explain to me what is your perception of core mechanics? Because the terminologies might vary from person to person. For me, what is core mechanics would be different for you guys. So, if anyone could tell me what they know about core mechanics, then I can just probably say that whether that is what I believe or not. Anyone else?
The
Sorry?
aspects involved.
Graphics, not for me.
The aspects involved, their interaction with each other, the components which build up the.
Slightly there, yes.
Foundation of any game design.
But foundation is a too vague idea. You need to be more precise. What is it? See, foundation, there can be a lot of foundations. Even the networking server client programming is a foundation that you can put in there. But what is core mechanics in terms of gameplay? Okay, I have definition for myself. It contributes to 90% of the interaction that your gamer will be doing in your game and never changes. Your game, how much ever you try to play, that mechanics never changes and the user would be keeping on doing the same thing. Take Temple Run, swipe up, swipe down, swipe left, swipe right. Never changes. It's always like that. That's my core mechanics. If that level of interactivity of a user is not completely translated into your game and it's not so smooth, the game is broken. Users might not even like it. So, this is the first thing that I would tell my team to prove to me that you have something that is uniquely good. Is your core mechanics which the user is going to play, probably for 2 years he's going to play or for 2 months he's going to play. I don't care about it. But he's going to do 90% of this interaction itself with the game. Prove to me that it's doable. This is the first area that we would prototype and see whether that is good to do, whether the interactions are perfect, whether the interactions when the user is doing it is completely translated or not. A lot of things are there in itself to scope it. But this is what I would push into. After that, a bigger question is coming back. Do we want to proceed? The core mechanics, sometimes you may say, oh, I have a unique idea. It looks good. It feels fun to do that. But it's not a game as such fully, but it's just a mechanic. I know that it should take some time. What would you do next? The next one is, like Rohit had mentioned, that at one point you need to understand whether you can pitch it to a market or not. Because right now you haven't burned down too much of team's time, you have not burned down too much of money. It's easily, you can take a decision that whether the project is good or not, but find your market. Try to find which all games have a similar mechanic. And now, when you have these all games with similar mechanics, now tell me whether it is good or not. Compare those mechanics with yours. Is it as fluid as yours, or are you better? If you are not better than them, try to make it better. Otherwise, you are going to lose. This is what the market is expecting. This is what your gamer is expecting. Like Rohit had said, there are people who hate your game on a lot, but there are people who love also. They love these games. That means if your game is close to that, you can't lower the standards. Correct? You need to come close to it. But one thing you need to keep in mind, it doesn't mean that it's the same game. Only the core mechanics is same. You can take probably Clash of Clans and Farmville together for iPad. Two different games, but the interaction is the same. You drag and drop objects, you customize your space and put it over there. Interactions are absolutely the same. So that's the main core mechanic itself for Clash of Clans. Even if people can say that there is an attack sequence also, but for me that's a mini hero. Most of the time they do the arranging their this itself. So for me, that is a core mechanic, and that looks like exactly like Farmville. If the same accessibility, the same way that you drag and drop, how do you access a different point? If it is not as comfortable as Farmville, then probably you won't get the people to go ahead with it. What is the market used to is what you will have to first put into the game, so that it's much more easy for the newcomers. And after at one point, go innovative, go creative. But this is what you need to do. It's more of like those automobile industry itself. Huh? For Indian industry, if the steering is on the right, keep it on the right itself. Why would you keep it in the center? Of course, there is government bodies also to do it. But don't you think the audience is already used to it? Why would you change it? Correct? The driver is in the front seat. Would you keep it in the back seat just for the sake of a new design? So it's coming from that perspective. I'm not going into the creative perspective yet. Okay, it's more of finding a mechanic. But there can be situations like, Jitin, but there is Super Hexagon. The mechanic is completely different. And there is Flappy Bird. The mechanic is different. Really? Tap, hold, tap, hold. Super Hexagon also does the tap, hold, and Flappy Bird also does the tap, hold, tap. The interaction is the same. Okay? So this would be the first one that I would try to tackle, and just get out where do my game or my core mechanic match with the market. So this is a practice that I do as a producer always. Where does my product stand in the market at each phase of the game? I want to know it. I want to make the best game, like Rohit said. The ambition is high. I want to make the best game in the international market. So at each and every phase, I am rating myself with the current market. I don't want to go like 2 years into production and then say, oh, our benchmarks are 2 years over there, but we are going to ship that time the benchmark is here and we are the lowest right now. No. At each and every phase, I want to make sure that I am at the market. This is the third question. Is it worth to go or not? When you have the core mechanics in place, you can check with the other games what they have accomplished. In terms of scope quantity, okay, how much of depth did they go with upgrading stuff, or how much of characters? If it is RPG game, what is the depth of the characters that they have produced? It's more of just to think what would be the amount of workforce you need to put into it, amount of pressure you need to put into it with the team. Understand? Just for understanding. Because if you try to expand this, at one point to compete with these guys, you need to bring that scope. Right? It's early on you are trying to understand what is the market. Scope, yes. Audience reach, that's more of downloads. Does it have the enough downloads for you? It's really important. If it is a free-to-play game, it's really, really, really important. If it is a console game or something, okay, what is at least the sales figures? You can just Google it and you will get it out. That okay, they sold 2 million copies, 3 million copies. But those numbers are really, really, really needed for you. And final one, I'm not saying that that's the most important one, revenue. Because like Rohit said, at one point, if his project went completely a failure, today it's affordable to have a failure because he had 7 successes. But if the first 2 or 3 didn't look at those revenues, you're in deep done. Right? So at least at one point you need to know that your game has the potential to turn around your profits. Correct? But we are not in deep production yet. We are still trying to find it. Now, once you have a core mechanic, you know that the competitors are there. So you're kind of interested. You look at the numbers, you look at the scope. This is to bring that scope, you have the team, yes. The revenues look fine, it would fund us for the next 2 years if you manage to get that. And you have that confidence. So right now, you have the interest, let's try to build a trust on it. You need to build the trust that the game is potential enough to build into that kind of a state. Correct? How would I do it? This is when the actual conception starts. Before it was just prototype. Just trying out with different mechanics, trying to see the market is ready for it or not. Is there a market there out? If it is not there, then how close can we come? It's just prototype. Now on conception phase, you have your core mechanics. This is what is going to be there. 95% user is going to do this itself. I try to find the core gameplay loop. Okay. it's a terminology again. I'm throwing it back to you guys. Apart from my mentoring team, I'd like to know if someone could explain to me what do you understand by core gameplay? Because the terminologies can be different. Again, I'm just repeating it so that I'll just make sure that we are at the same page. Anyone? So I should go ahead? Yeah? Okay. What I would define as core gameplay loop is that you have your core mechanics, you group it with an objective. The objective can be like point A to point B, or reach this much coins, or beat this much of characters, or whatever it is. There is a set of objectives and challenges put in with a success and a failure condition. That means there is a game over screen or a U1 screen. This for me is the game core loop. That means you have one place circle. Correct? This is the next step that I would try to do. Because before even trusting my core mechanic would become a game, I need to understand whether a consumer or a gamer feels enriched by playing it or not. If that is not working, then forget about it. It's not even worth going. I remember this incident that there was this one team inside Ubisoft itself. I'm not going to give too much of specifications on that project because that project got canned. Okay, is that they found a good core mechanic of typing. That one I found. So just typing. They were getting inspired from draw something. So like, can we do it something with typing? Okay, super good. Core mechanic was super brilliant, but they failed to make a core gameplay out of it. They really tried to do a lot of objectives to put into it, a lot of challenges to it. But eventually, when we tried to play that core gameplay repeatedly, it was not at all fun. We play tested it. Out of 10 people, one person who is a hardcore Dark Souls fan loved it. 9 people said we hate it. Okay, we couldn't even find it. So like, it doesn't even work. So that's the point we canned the project. Basically, no, the team is not able to scale it. Let's give them a bit more time to prove that the gameplay is fun to play, but it didn't work. Cut it off. So another critical part, I would try to find the gameplay loop. Okay, one of the key things that I'll tell you in this, as a producer, what I would do, I wouldn't change the core mechanics out. There has been situations when my game designer goes completely mad. I don't know whether he was smoking, but he goes completely mad and comes and says, Jitin, the gameplay would be much more better if we can twist the core mechanics over here. And my answer is no. My answer is simply no. Because the core mechanics, we know that we came to this phase because we checked with the market. We know that this might work. This is close to what is there. Right now, build a gameplay which is more interesting rather than changing from the root basic. But there are situations when I agree to it also. Sometimes, critical situations, as it mentioned in Rohit's presentation, so at one point, your team comes back to you, trusting you that we have a better judgment, right? If we say no to everything, then they'll say, this guy is bossy. He wouldn't even judge us, he's just judging us, saying that everything is right. So no, at one time, we'll give them room to do. But process-wise, I'll say no. Don't change that, bring this, prove to me it works. Okay? As usual, next question. Which is the similar games in this loop right now? Again, it's coming to a filter, right? First, we had a filter that the core mechanic was there. Get me the competitor games that, not competitor, which is close to benchmark games. Right now, you have going loop itself. That means if it is a puzzle game, what level of gameplay is there for you to play? Correct? You're trying to find, okay, is it fun to play this again and again? If it is a Candy Crush kind of a match 3, okay, what level to play? Is it fun to play? Just only with the interactions and not too much of objectives, but the objective is collect these coins. That's it. Only with that, is it fun to play? Yeah.